This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Monday, December 3rd. We are into trading in December. So historically, what we pretty much see is we see some pretty good first few weeks, but as we get closer towards the more major holidays, things really do slow down. Especially, as we get to the end, and then also right before that New Year. But the one thing about the coming into the New Year's, we do get a few good days, and the reason being, a lot of people like to close out some things for tax purposes as we get towards the end of the year. So they're just kind of just make everything the way that they want it for before they're going to have to file taxes. So we will see a few good days that come in there, and a lot of days, really bigger days where we see a lot bigger ranges. So everything we're going to be talking about this morning is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so obviously things are up pretty big this morning. And it's kind of funny, though, because things are up big, but not really much that's going on with them. We're seeing mostly consolidation that's going on. So overall, our everyday stocks have pretty much taken over most of the trading volume that we're seeing. So let's talk about NVDA first. NVDA, our average is down to about 8.14. Our average is down to, about $6 to $7, right in that range. Something you have to remember is that, okay, 2 up days in a stock that has a $7 range is $14 move. So overall, it's still up. One of the interesting things, if we look back on Friday, and we come back over here, you can see it's a very weird time. We had this big burst of sell prints come in at that 173.80, which is kind of a weird spot. So just something to think about as we come in. But this morning, it's not showing anything. There's absolutely nothing going on yet. So we're going to see once the market comes to an open. Now, I'm not one to really try to interpret anything that's going on. That's why, if you want to look at, everything that happened to G20, I know the trade, and the reason for this is, with politics and our trade, we're supposed to be on hold for right now and stuff. But it's kind of odd because, we're seeing a lot of stuff getting what looks like, because we have the selling. Looks like it's being propped up based off the fact that somebody doesn't want to make the market look like they made a tank during their time. So I'm not going to get into that much, but it's just kind of an interesting way to look at it, because like I said, we definitely have that selling. So even though we're coming back up, I still did, it's just the higher they go, the harder they drop. So keep that in mind as we look in. So Apple this morning, Apple's got some decent selling that I've seen coming in, as and to be expected. When these stocks are jumping up so much, I'm not shocked whatsoever to see that, that coming in. Really, in order for these things to continue, we're just going to have to see continued buying, which we don't really have in Apple this morning. Nothing that great, but if we look over here on the sell side of things, that's a beautiful position, 184.60 that came in. We have a print at 184.50. So Apple is, for the most part, all the bigger prints out there are selling. So I'm going to put Apple on our list for this morning. Pretty much all of our everyday stocks, just like, every day, are going to be on our list. But I really like the selling burst that we've seen coming into this one this morning. Okay, one of the only other stocks that I really have besides our everyday stocks out there is GBT. So GBT, obviously, we can see is up pretty big, volume 413,000 shares, and it usually trades about 908,000 shares on average. So very, an anomaly compared to what it typically does. So we come over here and we look at that 44 level. It's very, very mixed. You can see, we had some selling, we've had some buying, it's just kind of all over the place. At 44, same type of deal. 44, we had more selling than anything, but then you come back up here and you can see it on the ass side of things, we did get hit. And then 45, just not really showing too much. Now, the one thing I do know about this is it's going to have a big range. Okay, orders are very thin. Volume is extremely high for what it usually does. So it's going to be just like when we talked about TLRY. When TLRY, we were talking about how, we need to see a good show, decent, a bigger show of hand for us to really want to get into it because of how volatile these things can be. This is exactly what we're going to need. We're going to need a level that's just black and white, gives us, 4 to 5 prints coming into it, and then we're going to take the direction from there, because as of right now, it's just a very, very mixed stock coming into it. But like I said, I do like the all the variables that are coming into it to show us that we're going to have a big range coming into there. All right, let's take a look at our scanners. Let's see if anything interesting has came up after that. I just didn't see much going on out there. We have it's kind of odd for so much movement towards that upside for everything to be kind of just slow and doing nothing. All right, so we have TSRO, absolutely nothing going on there. We have GBT, 414,000. Absolutely no. Excuse me, GBT. We know the range is going to be bigger. We have HDSN 61. I don't know why I clicked that. ATOS. So ATOS isn't terrible. It's something that we can put on our side list. It's not really doing anything yet, but it does have the opportunity or the variables for this thing to come back up. We did get a little bit of buying that came in right here. You can see at 841. A little bit, pretty decent amount, but the orders are kind of thick. But basically right above that 150 level, and it is holding right now, basically on no trading. So it does have the variables for this thing to be able to break back out, and then obviously, the person needing to make money at that. In that position above that 150 level. We have OGEN 1.1 million, absolutely nothing going on there. Going to NBEV. Same type of deal, 1.4 million shares. I mean, it's not terrible. We do see that this morning that there's, a little bit. I'll go over, NBEV, New Age Beverage Corp, and then, Kron, same type of deal. I mean, if we look over here, Kron's absolutely nothing going on. It made a little bit of a spike there, but there's just no volume. It did have some volume coming in at the, I know you had said that. It came in at the close, but there's just nothing there. One print is not going to, do much. We had 220,000 shares that came in. Absolutely nothing going on there. And then NBEV, as we were just talking about, 1.4 million shares, which is very odd for it because of the fact that it doesn't really trade during the pre-market. So I am going to put NBEV on our side list because I do want to keep an eye on it. Like I said, just because of the fact that it 1.4 million shares already, and it usually doesn't really trade. Moving UWT, absolutely nothing going on there. And then TRCO, completely sideways. And then IQ, 400,000 shares. IQ's been popping up a little bit on the gainer side of things, but you can see, there's just no real trading that's going on in it. It's moving completely sideways. All right, Lulu, I can take a look. Lulu, no, not really much going on. 34,000 shares, nothing going on there. You guys, I don't really look at ETFs, especially in the morning, when there's just too many other things that are going on over there. So, not really anything. I know, gas, it's supposed to be going down cheaper per barrel. Ooh, what's happening here? I'll fix that in a minute. But you know what? I don't. That's above my pay grade. You guys see. The way I trade is I look for things that are very black and white. Simple going on. I don't really try to interpret things that go on especially in our world that we live in right now, because one thing it should mean one thing and it ends up being another. So. Let's take a look at our losers list. We have APHA, which is. I definitely see if you're able to get any type of shares coming in. You can see it jumped up to 850, and then it's dropping down right now, past underneath that 596 print line of 29,000 shares on some pretty decent selling. So these stocks that jump up on nothing and come back down, I'm going to put it on our side list, but make sure, actually, just our regular list because it's trading beautifully. APHA. Go out there and see if you can request some type of short. Moving along, we have DWT, TVIX, no interest. And then we have, let's see, GSK, 1.2 million shares. Yeah, GSK, overall, if we look at mostly everything that we've seen, I was looking at this before, and obviously it didn't have those prints that just came in after that 9 level. But you could see pretty much all selling sitting there at that 39. So certainly something that we want to look at. Only concern would be that, once the market opens, that it stays like this, trading 1.2 million shares and kind of being that spotty. But certainly something for us to, it's literally, it's got nothing but selling. Can't ask for anything better than that. Can we check out CLX? Did I do that already? Let's see. CLX, absolutely nothing. There's literally just no trading going on in it. There we go. All right, guys. Anything else out there that I missed? I think that's about it. Well, SQ is part of our everyday stocks. Coming into the morning, it's just like everything else. It's sitting in consolidation. It's literally all our name brand, our more, our tech stocks and our name brand stocks. They're all pretty much doing the same exact thing. Jump up with, a bunch of consolidation just sitting there. Not really giving us much of a show of hand yet. Besides the fact like I said, Apple's my favorite out of all of them, just because I've seen almost all on the bigger burst and the bigger side of things all selling within there. So that's probably my favorite one. All right, guys, let's get ready for the morning. Once the market opens, we should see a bunch of volatility. So, if we don't, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. But you know what? Let's take it as we see it. No reason to rush anything, and we will I will talk to everyone in the chat room. Happy trading.